What is going on, guys? This is Miasin. So it's already been like 2 months since the fire decks have been a thing, so pure Snake Eyes and Fire King, but the pure Snake Eyes deck is slowly but surely gaining so much in popularity that people are playing it even more than Fire King, and there's a lot of reason for that. Obviously, everybody's winning YCSs with pure Snake Eyes. I don't think Fire King Snake Eyes has a single YCS win. I mean, there were 2 Fire King players in the team of, you know, Chris LeBlanc, Hani, and Hissam, so I guess that's like 2 out of 3 players, even though pure Snake Eyes never not won a YCS because he was always a part of the winning team in the 1v1, so YCS Sydney as well as YCS Medellin. I think that's how you pronounce it. The deck is pretty much just like the same thing as Fire King, but you can play even more non-engine because you can play like freaking, I don't know, like 15 handshaps and then 3 cross-out, 3 talents. It's ridiculous. And people are streamlining the deck to the point where they can play even more than that, depending on how you want a deck build. And today I have a solution for you guys. If you want to not play Flamberge, well, at least the second one, as well as the Jet Synchron, there are some really nice plays that you can do with this deck, while still beating Nibiru and other handshaps. So that's what I will be covering in today's video. So I'll show you guys 2 combos as well as the deck profile, but before going any further, I would really appreciate you even more than I already do if you could smash the like and subscribe button for me real quick. And also, let's try to get this video to 1,000 likes. I would really appreciate that as well. And with that being said, let's get right into it. Alright, so combo number 1, you're going to be normal summoning Snake Eye Ash, obviously, and then Surge the Populace, which searches you the Divine Temple. That's always what you do regardless, and then you're going to be getting the Oak into the Spell and Trap zone, and then use its effect, so summon the Flamberge. And then you're going to be going into IP Masquerade. Chilling 1, I usually do a Flamberge and then Chilling 2 Populace. It really depends. Sometimes they might want to bell later on. If you feel like they want to bell you early and that would make you lose out, then yeah, you definitely want to protect the Flamberge. And then yeah, you're going to be scaling the Flamberge, and the Oak is going to be special summoning the Populace, and then link off into Princess, and then that's going to be reviving back the Oak, and then link into Pit Knight early. And during the opponent's turn, you actually have a lot of interruptions because you got Princess in the grave, and then the Divine Temple can summon back the Flamberge, so that you can go like Flamberge effect or IP Masquerade, and then you can chain the Pit Knight early, so negate something, and then summon the SP Little Knight, and then Princess. So you got 1 negate in the form of a Pit Knight early, the IP into SP, as well as the Princess. So that's 4 interruptions in total with 1 single card. And if you were to play the second Flamberge, you would be able to go for Appaloosa for 3 as well as IP into SP. That would have been 5 interruptions. So you're basically losing out on 1 interruption, but you are kind of spreading the interruptions between your field and your graveyard. And again, you do not need the second Flamberge for that. And you are still beating Nibiru very well because if they nib you, then you just summon back the Flamberge and then you place the Masquerade in the Spell and Trap zone. So it doesn't change anything. Not too bad for a very simple combo that doesn't revolve around the second Flamberge. Let's get into combo number 2. Alright, so if you have Snake Eye Ash as well as Diabellstar in pretty much any card, you can also do a very nice board that also beats Nibiru. So yeah, normal summon, and again, you don't need Jet Synchron or the second Flamberge. So yeah, Surge the Populace and then special summon. That gets you again the Divine Temple, and then you're going to be placing the Oak. That's also actually in this situation that's going to be the Flamberge because you can summon the Oak off of Diabellstar. Again, we don't play Jet Synchron either. It's not like I was trying to summon that one with original. Anyways, discard my other card, so summon Diabellstar, set the original, and then go into Link Rebo, put the Populace in the Spell and Trap zone so that it can summon the Oak. And this is where it gets really interesting. So I would have 3 spells and traps on in the field and in the graveyard, so the Flamberge as well as the Divine Temple and the original. So I can go into Celine using the Diabellstar, the Populace as well as the Link Rebo, revive back the Diabellstar, and then I can go into an Appaloosa, and then go Oak effect, send the Flamberge, and summon any other level 1, and then Flamberge, revive back 2 monsters, go into IP, and then Princess, and then revive back the Flamberge, and then put the IP in the Spell and Trap zone, and then go into Pit Knight early. So again, it's a really nice board. You don't end on the Omni Negates of Baron and Warlord Savage, obviously, because we don't play any tuners. But that would be Appaloosa for 2, as well as Flamberge into IP, Pit Knight early, and Princess in the graveyard. Again, with only 1 Flamberge and no Jet Synchrons, which is not too bad. So that's what, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 interruptions with 2 cards and a discard. And again, Nibiru proof because at any point the Flamberge can float, or we can go Divine Temple, summon the Flamberge, get back the IP Masquerade. So it ends up being the absolute same, and we also rushed Appaloosa very early. So yeah, that's it for the 2 combos. Let's get into the deck profile now. Alrighty, so for the deck list, there are a lot of ways to kind of approach this. You can also play Nibiru. As you can see, I'm playing 12 handshaps, which is not too much, especially considering the fact that I can play way more non-engine than the average pure Snake Eyes deck. But I didn't want to play 3 Nibiru because I wanted to go 3 Fenrir. I actually think this card's really good. Going first, going second. I've made a video on this card. It's just insane. But yeah, I'm on 3 Mourner, 3 Mourner, 3 Veiler, 3 Imperm, as well as 3 Ash, and then 3 Fenrir, obviously, 3 Crossout. There's just all those targets. You never really have to cross out the Nibiru, And I don't really like doing that because if you are cross-outing the Nibiru stays in your hand, and then when you summon so much on the opponent's turn, you can get nibbed again. I would rather naturally beat Nibiru and then hold my cross-out for the other cards. And I don't really feel like I have to respect Droll and Logbird too much because this deck doesn't really lose to Droll unless I get hit by Droll and Nibiru. That's honestly the only way I really lose. I am still playing Baron because I can either normal summon the Ash or the Mourner, or I can Hita back the Ash, or I can go Lullaby of Obedience, and then either my opponent gives me Ash to my hand, or special summons it, and then I can go into Baron. So post game 1, Lullaby is even better. And I want to say this deck list makes even more sense if you are choosing to main deck Lullaby, because then you're playing literally the most consistent deck in the room, and you're always destroying the mirror match, 100% guaranteed. We had 2 copies of Triple Tactic Talents as well as 1 Call by the Grave. This is, I mean, it could be like anything. It could also be like 3 talents if you don't really like Call by the Grave. Some people are doing that. Some people are even going above 40, but I managed to squeeze everything in 40 cards, which is, again, like the crazy part, right? So more than 50% of my deck would be non-engine, because the engine is this: 3 Diabellstar, 3 Wanted, 3 Snake Eye Ash, 3 Bonfire, and then the 2 Populous, the original and the 1-for-1. 16 1-card starters in a way because I don't play Nibiru, so every single monster in my deck it can always be normal summon. So there's no difference between 1-for-1 and original in this in that regard. Even though, obviously, I'd rather draw 1-for-1 than original because I don't have to commit to my normal summon. And I can also search original with the Populous instead of having to search Divine Temple. So if I already draw Divine Temple, then I get access to absolutely everything that I want. That's the difference, but usually it doesn't really change too much. 94% consistency probability, while also being able to counter hand traps really well. The only difference, again, with this and the standard build that is not playing Jet Synchron or the second Flambridge is that you're making synchros less often. That's honestly almost it. Like, if the synchro monsters don't really matter to you, and it's just a hand trap or where you just win with like the fire combo, then it shouldn't matter in the first place. And that is my theory behind, you know, playing this version. You really just don't need Jet Synchron and the second Flambridge if you are playing conservative in the first place, and you are always beating hand traps, and you're also just good going second without having to play those extra bricks. But yeah, for the extra deck, 1 Baron, obviously the access code, Appaloosa, Zealantis and Raging Phoenix, the double Princess, just in case like the second one might come up maybe. Celine, obviously Dark, as well as Hita. Nightmare Phoenix for the OTK with Zealantis when your opponent doesn't control a monster. Even though you could technically go like Hita or Dark, and then when you go Zealantis, the monster that you stole with Hita or Dark comes back to your opponent's field, so that then you can Princess and then still kill, but sometimes you can't really get there, so the proactive way to do that, it was by summoning Zealantis as well as Phoenix, and you got the Raging Phoenix in the grave, so that you go battle phase, attack for 19, attack for 25, and then still in battle, Zealantis effect, destroy Phoenix, and then Raging Phoenix comes back, gains 19, and then it attacks for 28 plus 19, and that is always over 8,000 damage on an empty board. And again, on a full board, it's going to be game with Princess in the graveyard. And then SP Knight with IP Masquerena, Pit Knight early, the combos that I showed are really nice. And also, if this card is destroyed during the end phase, well, I mean, during the end phase, if it was destroyed this turn by battle by card effect, you can revive it back for free. So it's really nice because it triggers off of your own Princess destroying yourself, which means that you always have a follow for next turn, and it's a fire monster that you can summon under the Princess lock. And it actually has a decent effect. It's not like a card that does nothing. And then finally, the Link Karibo, which is the GOAT. For the side deck, even more cards that can be easily interchangeable for other things. So the Bestial Monsters, Magnamo, Worm, Baldric, could also be Forbidden Droplet, or Nibiru, really could be anything. It's just that Nibiru and the Bestials, they do conflict with Kishtira Fenrir, so keep that in mind. 3 Droll and Logbird, either for, I don't know, could be Voiceless Voice, or anything, honestly, that just loses to discard. But usually rogue decks, but even like against the Farking deck, it's not too bad. But you do have to have like some other hand traps in combination, because Droll alone is not enough. And then Cosmic Cyclone, Runic Stun. Some other decks can lose to Cosmic Cyclone a lot, so this card's usually pretty nice. And then Lullaby of Obedience for the mirror match. Again, it makes your deck even more consistent, and be able to call Ash when you got Fenrir is absolutely nasty. And finally, we got Summon Limit. Obviously, another insta-win blowout going first. But yeah, that's all for this video, so I kind of went really quick, showcasing what you can do without the second Flambridge and without Jet Synchron, keeping it as clean and minimalistic as possible, while still being able to apply a lot of pressure, so this deck is still very good, even without the ability to like synchro summon so much. So I still believe that this deck is a very good contender, and honestly, I might consider playing it at a regional or maybe the YCS. Who knows, honestly, I'm still testing. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.